Hi, this is Timothy L. Birdsong, Eve, first mother in the earth, of the earth. If I say in the earth, I don't want to end the earth, so I'm not going to say in the earth. I'll say of the earth. And I was coming to realize today that I feel unworthy. And of course, just said Eve befriended the serpent, and the serpent is Stevie Wonder. And not only did I befriend him this life, not realizing he was a serpent again, I had a baby with him, Robin Michelle Birdsong. We didn't have physical sex, but we had mental sex. And that's how you make babies, in the heart. And the heart signals the brain, and the brain signals the sexual genitals, and they make the baby. And that's how it happened. The neuroscientists realized the power of being with the heart. Being with the heart. So what happened was, I was talking to Robin, because she and I do talk and share therapy. And we've been doing it for 25 years. And I was talking to her that I felt unworthy because I told a lie. And it made it possible for my mother to keep receiving checks from the Veterans Administration. And then, years later, I found out she died because of her organs were messed up from drinking alcohol. And had I not given her the money or empowered her to have the money to buy the alcohol, she wouldn't have died at age 54. And so when I was 6 years old and I found out we were poor, this is my mother now, Jindara Ranzinger, Jindara Michelle. I found out we were poor, and my mother laughed, like we were a joke. And I got very upset, and my little ego it got activated, and I wanted to make money for my mother so she wouldn't have to work so hard in the laundry, sweating and grueling job standing on concrete, pressing shirts for 2.5 cents a shirt. So when I think it was 15. Okay, but the church said, you can't be rich, or you can't. The chances of a rich person going to jail, going to hell, going to heaven, is about as much as a rich man going to the eye of a needle. So a part of me said I can't become rich. Another part of me said I must become rich so I can help my mother, who didn't even want me. She said, when I was 4 years old, she said, I never wanted you. In fact, I tried to abort you. And so I thought I had a mother who loved and wanted me, so I felt lied to. And that was the biggest shock of my life, the biggest hurt of my life, the deepest pain in my life is still there. So that's why I wanted to get her money, because she worked and supported me even though she didn't want me. And I thought, this woman's a saint, And so when the church said I can't get her money, but I still wanted to. And then when Stevie Wonder had a hit at 12 years old, I realized, I was 15, I realized now he can make his mother rich. He got my dream, but Gurinder Singh, Jesus Christ, said nobody can take your karma. So he didn't really take my karma, but he was doing what I wished I could have done. And I felt bad about not having done it. So, where am I going with this? I guess I want to apologize for making friends of the serpent, because when he became a man, and Judas, and I was Mary Magdalene. He was in love with me, and I couldn't love him because I only love my husband, Jesus Christ. So then when I was a kid, this life, I wanted to play ball because my mother was at work. My sister was engaged was with her boyfriend, Charles Kelly, Clarksville, Tennessee. And so I don't even know if we had a television. So I saw these kids with a baseball bat, and I ran to the field where they were, and I said, "Can I play too?" And the little girl named Wonderful said, "No, you can't play. You think you're better than us." And I thought, what is this about? What is she talking about? I don't understand. But I didn't say anything. I wasn't accustomed to expressing myself and asking questions. My mother nor my other mother and Donnie, they didn't like questions. So I just stood there like a fool because I was fooled because I thought, I had found some friends. So I was humiliated, and I ran home. My sister said, I wouldn't even want to play with them. I wouldn't want to play with them. And I realized my sister, who my mother had wanted, was in the right. She had a right to life. And she was a person who did right and thought right and like that. I, on the other hand, had no right to life. I was wrong to be alive because my mother had wanted me to be alive. So I was willing to be on the side of the wrong. So I wanted to be friends with Wanda Fay, who was Satan, who was like a Satan or negative power, because I was wrong. I was in the wrong for being alive. So she and I matched. You see, she was wrong to hurt my feelings, and I was wrong to be alive. So we were a match. So I would go there every day, every time they were there, and stand around looking at them and everything and longing to play. And one day her sister Mary Helen said, "Oh, let her play." So they let me play, and I had somebody to play with. But I got on the train of thought of Wanda Fay, and I did, and she was a ghetto person, like a nigger. So I became like a nigger, I started cussing, when I got of age, and drinking, and having sex, and fighting, and not studying righteously in school, and I got pregnant at 16, and I gave my baby to a nice couple because they were a couple, a man and a woman, and husband and a wife, and I thought, well, this will be better for him than to be with me, even though I want him. I would love to have him, to love him, him love me, but I can't do this. I can't be a mother with this baby because it isn't good for the baby. So, the baby, his name is Anthony Craig Williams, of Milwaukee, and he has a real good job fixing huge computers for Comcast and people like that. And he was John the Baptist, and he turned out to be a hard-working, good father kind of person. So I don't think I did wrong there. I don't know. See, the way you do anything, the way you do everything. Said T. Harv Eker. Sometimes I believe that, sometimes I don't believe that. So, the serpent got on my flight. I was an airline stewardess. And Stevie Wonder bounded onto my flight. Where's this picture? Here's the picture. And he had been singing songs, wonderful, amazing songs. And so I loved him, and I thought he's perfect, it's wonderful, having no idea he had been Judas and having no idea he had been the serpent in the Garden of Eden. So that's when we made a baby at that time, because he asked me to take him to the bathroom, and we were arm in arm walking to the toilet. And that's what happened. We made a baby. And he did pay for his crime with Judas, with what he did to Jesus Christ. He tried to get them to take back the money. And he felt such remorse, such a deep regret, he killed himself. He hung himself. So that's how he paid for betraying Christ. And then, when he was born Hitler, he paid for betraying Christ as Judas by killing the Jews who killed Christ. Only the irony is they weren't the Jews. They were fake Jews. They were people who were trying to capitalize on the fact that people think of Jews as God's chosen people. So these were just some people out of Turkey, opposite of Judaism. And so, let's see, where am I going with this? So he killed the Jews to make it up to Mary Magdalene, but because they had killed her husband and left her and they had 2 kids. She and Jesus Christ had 2 kids, and so they had left him, left Mary a grieving widow. So the irony is, the real Jews, the real Hebrews, the real people who killed Jesus Christ are the black people. And Hitler was born black. Okay? But if you don't feel guilty, you don't have to pay. Of course, he's blind, so he is paying for having killed 60 million people, and for feeling bad about killing Christ. He has attracted the punishment of blindness. So, as Eve, I'm sorry I keep befriending the people in the wrong, or the species in the wrong. And God made me with a sympathetic nature, and I feel sorry for people. I felt sorry for Wanda Faye for thinking she had to be jealous of me, because I knew my uncle was very black, Brother Wright, Nelson Birdsong. So I knew that it wasn't about color, because he was a man of dignity. He took care of his family. His backyard looked like a garden in heaven. He had made it so beautiful. He was so kind. So I knew that being dark-skinned, that didn't mean nothing wrong. So I set out to prove to Wanda Faye that even if you are dark-skinned, even if your hair is short, you can be anything you want to be. You can be great. And so I married Edwin Birdsong because he was darker skinned than me. And we could have a brown baby. And that's what happened. I thought it was Edwin Birdsong's baby because I didn't know you made babies in your heart. It was Stevie Wonder's baby. We made a little brown girl. With Edwin Birdsong, I made Sing Birdsong. Okay. But I loved Edwin to make Sing because a child is a result of love. A child is a result of you becoming the other person, saying, oh, imagining him making love to you. Becoming him so you can imagine him making love to you. So that's love. And making love is a baby. You're making a baby when you're making love. Okay, ideally. So, I raised my little brown girl just like she was rich white girl. Okay, we went to libraries and read books and had story times and watched good wholesome movies in the library for little toddlers. I put her in an integrated, very cool and hip daycare center in Greenwich Village were her best friends, both of them. Their fathers were bass players. They were musicians like Birdsong. Because remember, I thought he was her father at that time. And then I put her in a school where the rich kids go, public school, PS 41 in Greenwich Village. I sing also went there. And so they were around happy, well-adjusted children for the most part. And then I put her in she went to, she's 9 years old. So I tutored her at home because Stevie Wonder and his baby mama, Yolanda Simmons, gave us $2,000 one year for Christmas presents. So I bought my kids, my children, a phonics program to teach them to read and to spell because they took it out of the public schools, phonics. So that's why people can't read and spell. So I tutored her, homeschooled her. Even way back then, I was homeschooling her and sing with the phonics records I had bought with the money Stevie Wonder had given us. So she got into a special exclusive program, Prep for Prep. They got her in a private school, Grace Church School, and Friend Seminary. And so she was very well educated. She learned Latin, she learned French, she she learned about the different religions. She had a very good education. So now she has a master's degree, and she's traveled at least 31 different countries and visited and lived in some of them, in Paris and Amsterdam, in Luxembourg, in Switzerland. I mean, she's a globetrotter, world traveler. So you see, she's a role model. Wonder if they can look at her. And, okay.